Hey everyone, Premades here, back with another Eternal Return video. Today's video topic is going to be a bit lower effort for me, but hopefully something that's still relevant and very interesting for all of you guys viewing it, and that's going to be characters that are succeeding in the Korean ranked ladder setting. So the reason why I specify the Korean ranked ladder setting is because right now Nimble Neuron has set up the ranked ladder for squads in a way that allows Premade up until Mithril, which is right past Diamond, until which you have to only solo queue. So why is that important? It's important because everyone in North America right now, save for 2 people who have just broken past Mithril recently, are going to be pre-mating. So if you see someone at the very top of it, like Platinum, Gold, Diamond, they have probably been in pre-mades for a long time, which means that they're probably playing with other very good players, which means that their characters might not be the best for solo queuing, but might still be good for pre-made. So keep that in mind as we go through this list. So to expand on that, right now the Korean ladder is still fairly new and fresh, so again, this pre-made issue is affecting even Korean ladders. But if you want to know what the best looking pre-made composition looks like right now in Korea, it's going to be Debbie Marlene, Rio, and Lenox. This squad has like an 88% win rate across 40-50 games, and the only reason why it hasn't gotten higher is because they've made it to Mithril, which means that they can no longer be pre-made, which means that, you know, they can no longer abuse this comp, and we'll have to see if Rio and Debbie and Marlene specifically are 2 characters that are good for solo queue going to the future, just because again, these players have only been playing this pre-made stack, and we'll just see if these characters are going to succeed even without that extra communication and coordination. The other third character that might be specific to a pre-made that I want to cover is going to be 11. 11 is a character who probably does very well in a pre-made because of how coordinated her dives and taunts can be. Unfortunately right now there are no solo queue 11s. It looks like all the 11 players kind of like drop out of Mithril and then climb back up with 11 and then swap again, so we'll see if their performance continues. I'm not really sure how to view this, but if you're playing a pre-made and you want to have a pretty consistent bruiser slash tank, 11 might be it for you. Moving on to the actual solo queue characters, these are characters that have been piloted by players who have performed despite the lack of pre-mates available to them once they got into Immortal. So this doesn't mean that they didn't play these characters going into Mithril and pre-mates, but this means that they have succeeded past Mithril with these characters. So they should be pretty reliable for solo queue if you've mastered them. So if you're like in anywhere between Iron to Mithril, you should be fine playing these characters, but let me know if you're not having the same sort of success, because again, these are players that have a lot of hours in the game and they have the ability to kind of spam games infinitely in Korea. So if it's false information in your opinion, just let me know and I'll take another look at them. So to start this list, we have Haze. Haze is currently the preferred pick of the #1 player in Korea. Again, open to interpretation and subject to change just because of how fresh the ladder is, but the #1 player is preferring Haze, so they are actually the only Haze player who seems to be succeeding right now. So this means that Haze is not only a very high skill cap character, they are going to be very mechanically intensive, and you're going to have to be very good with your in-fight macro and decision making to survive by yourself, just because, you know, you don't have teammates there to help heal you, which obviously Haze prefers a lot. Hart is a character that is not only played by the #1 player, but also has a bunch of other pilots below them. Hart is a character that is very self-sufficient, has very good self-peel, has a very good damage output, but is still apparently a little bit behind Haze in the idea that even the rank 1 player prefers Haze over them. So if you want a consistent auto attacker, you can never go wrong with Hart. She is very self-sufficient until she gets nerfed probably, and if you want to have a good AD carry or auto attacker under your pocket, Hart will never go wrong. Just be careful with her because your ultimate can grief your teammates, and she is very squishy without her E, and also without your W buff, you're probably not doing as much damage as you should be. So make sure you know what you're doing on Hart. She does require some pretty specific evolutions or else you do no damage, but if you have all that, then you should be doing pretty well for yourself. The first mage on the list is going to be Celine. Celine's a character who got nerfed decently. It's kind of a question whether she got nerfed or compensated too much into the patch, but she's probably getting nerfed again. She is a very safe mage in the idea that she has basically infinite vision for free because of her ultimate spam, and she has very good damage with her bomb spam and her ultimate combination bombs. So if you're trying to get a good mage, Celine might be okay. The only issue is that Celine is pretty vulnerable if you're not smart with her, just because she has no true mobility. Her E can knock her back, but if you knock yourself back in the incorrect way, you might get caught and killed instantly, so be very careful with Celine. She is very good, but she does require a bit of finesse to pilot. Tazia is another mage who seems to be performing very well. She is pretty difficult because of her icicle mechanic, and you do have to understand how to manage her in a melee setting just because she thrives in melee. If you play her as a poke range character, you're never really going to get her stacks, which means that you're not going to get her actual burst damage, which means you won't succeed, and so you have to be very confident with Tazia. If you want to learn from a good Tazia that's in North America, I recommend Ghost Electricity. Very good player, has always performed in the entire lifetime of Eternal Return, and is very, very good at duos and squads. So if you want to learn from somebody, Ghost is your man. I'll try and link his stream in the description or the comment down below, so just, yeah, check him out if you want to learn Tazia. Adina, I have to include just because people love whining about Adina. I personally think that she isn't as insane, but I am a bit of a coper, so she is, right now, basically only being played solo queue by the top Adina player, which means that there is no inflation from Premade, and she's still doing pretty well. She is going around top 20 at any given moment at least, even peaking at rank 2 occasionally when the other players have a bad luck streak, so very, very strong solo queue player, probably even better if you're with the Premade. So yeah, go ahead and prove me wrong if I'm coping if you want to play Adina and show that she is the strongest character in the game, Premade or solo queue otherwise, but right now she isn't quite performing to the god tier status that a lot of people are saying, but she could as well easily do that. Again, very early in the season, a lot of people are abusing Premades for that inflated MMR, so yeah, Adina might be very strong. I want to include her just because if I didn't, people might get a bit upset with me. Jenny is another character who's doing very well. This Jenny is also mostly a solo queuer and has climbed a bit higher than the Adina player has, so I want to include her for full transparency. I think Jenny has been a bit slept on when it comes to solo queue potential, and she seems very good. So if you want to play a skill mage or a mage auto-attacker hybrid, Jenny will be your girl, and you'll probably do very well once you're very good at spacing and kiting. So now for the two big solo queue members. We have Estelle and Lenox. If you've been playing the game, you'll know that these two are pretty much behemoths right now. They're very safe to play, they are very needed in almost every comp, and you can really tell just how strong they are if you've ever played. Estelle is the most popular character in the top 100 right now by a huge margin. She is usable in solo queue, she's usable in Premades, she does so much damage, she tanks a lot, she has very good escapes, she has very good chase. She really does it all that you want from a bruiser, and there's really no reason to not play this character if you're able to, if you want to climb fast, just because she is that strong. I would argue she is by far the strongest character in the game at the moment, based off results alone, and she's much easier to play than a lot of the other characters on this list because of how beefy and, I guess, more simplistic her kit is. The other character who is very strong right now is Lenox. She is super tanky because of her shield, she is super strong at peeling because of her E and hook, and you can never really go on with Lenox. She does require a bit more finesse because she has no true mobility, but she's so tanky that it might as well not matter. So yeah, hopefully this list makes sense. If you're trying to solo queue or make a good teammate or make a good team with your friends, then hopefully this list helps you. Really, any of these characters are going to be strong almost no matter what, unless they get nerfed super hard, so I don't think you'll go wrong with any of these characters anytime soon. I'll probably be making this a regular series just because, again, easy content and just keeping the channel alive, so if you guys get annoyed with this sort of video series, please let me know and I'll try and find a better route for it. But if you enjoy this content and, you like my explanations on all of these, let me know and I'll continue it. Hope you guys have a good day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.